Silk painting with me, Ilona Sture. In today's video I'm gonna draw a pattern for silk painting and transfer it to the silk. So it's gonna be pure silk, jacquard, and I will use solvent-based resist. My silk is already stretched, and as you can see, the size of my future drawing is a little smaller than the size of the silk, later to be seen for what. Folding the sheet in half, I find the center of the composition. Of course, you can measure the center with a ruler, but folding the sheet is easier and faster. And so I have 4 squares, and now I have them marked with a pencil. And this is my frame, beyond which the drawing will not go. To be honest, I could have made it wider. This is so that when I hem the silk or stretch the silk on the frame, the picture is not cut. Now I want to draw a circle. I have the compositional idea in my head, but I want to keep it the intrigue for now. Although you have probably already guessed that this is the letter A. I don't have the task of drawing perfect shapes and lines. And this is the letter M. I erased the wrong lines so they don't get in the way. This is the letter R. And as you can see, there are A, M, O, R, E. Amore. The drawing has to be traced around with a marker so that it's visible through the silk, because my silk is dense. And you can use a ruler again, but it's always easier for me to draw by hand. Now I'm going to speed up the video a little bit so that it's not too long. I haven't decided yet if I'm going to draw the frame with the resist, so for now I'm tracing it with a pencil. My silk is jacquard, and now you can clearly see that it's very dense. Now I need to tuck the pattern to the silk. Because the frame is wide, I made the pattern smaller so I could tuck it under the sides of the frame. Now I pin the pattern to the silk. Still, the picture is not visible, so I put a couple of books underneath. Now it's better. To put a drawing on silk, there are different options. 1. Apply it with a marker, which disappears after a few hours, and then trace it with resist. 2. Trace it with a pencil, and also trace it with the resist. And 3. What I usually do, I trace the drawing at once with the resist. This time I use solvent-based resist, and there is a metal tip screwed on the tube. It makes the line more accurate. If you don't have a straight line, although I don't have a straight line either, you can make it intentionally curvy. If you want a perfectly straight line, you can use this trick. For example, I put 2 stacks of books on either side of the frame and put a smooth board on top. And now you can draw the line by resting the tube on the edge of the board. In this shot you can see better that the tube slides along the edge of the board like a rail. And I erase the drops of resist with porous paper. Where I get in the way of the nails, I also use a plank. The line has to be brought to the very edge of the fabric, otherwise the paint can start to flow over. And now the drawing doesn't look like a font, but more of an abstraction, which is what I wanted. This is where my lines didn't match, but that's okay. And I'm probably not going to outline this frame, I leave it as it is. You need to let the resist dry properly, otherwise it might let the paint through. Now I take the pins out. I'd like to remind you that likes, subscriptions and even comments are warmly welcome. The more reaction you give, the better for the channel, and your reactions will help the channel to grow. I'll paint it in the next video.